Video game subscription services are an oddity. Under normal circumstances, I feel like most people would normally look at them and go, well, why don't you just buy the games you want to play and own them forever? And while I would agree, after using some of these services, I have to admit they're actually pretty nice. I tend to pick up games, and depending on if I'm really interested in them, I'll usually put them down again after about a week or two, which is why after trying Xbox Game Pass during a $1 for 3-month deal and putting down Forza Horizon 4 after playing it for a week, I finally understood them. Out of all the subscription services in this video, I truly believe Xbox Game Pass is the best deal. There's just nothing out that beats it. It's really one of the few things Xbox currently has going for it, especially considering there's actually no viable reason to purchase an Xbox Series X. God, that name is the worst. Game Pass has games, and games, and games, and it's honestly so many games it's insane. $15 a month is definitely a high price to pay, but the value is almost immediately met just from the amount of games available for you to play. This isn't even including the extras, like Xbox Live Gold, discounts, and even an entire other subscription, EA Play. Origin Access, or what is now EA Play, was originally going to be its own entire segment, but instead I can just combine this into one section. It's not really special. EA kinda just wanted to do what Xbox was doing with Game Pass, so it includes almost all of the same stuff, except with some extras like exclusive in-game rewards, which on paper sounds like a great thing, but I'd rather not have to pay a subscription service if I want to unlock exclusive rewards in a game. Just let me unlock them through gameplay. The most unique thing EA Play has going for it is that you can play new releases 10 days before they actually launch for quote-unquote up to 10 hours, but they ruined this cool thing by making base EA Play only give you access to all, quote-unquote, of EA's latest games for up to 10 hours as well. To play games without restrictions, like the base version of Game Pass allows you to, the one that costs $9.99 a month and doesn't include gold, you need to purchase EA Play Pro, which gives you all of the perks of EA Play, but actually allows you to play the games indefinitely. This is for the same price as Game Pass, $14.99 a month. And it's immediately a worse deal. Ubisoft Plus is actually not the worst subscription service on this list, surprisingly enough. It's honestly just kind of underwhelming. It's pretty much the same as EA Play Pro and Xbox Game Pass, but in some ways it's worse because Ubisoft is just not as big of a player as Xbox or EA. Like, I appreciate that I get 124 Ubisoft games to choose from, but saying that, you have to look at what games are really included here. Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Siege, and Splinter Cell are all great franchises, but some of these games are old. And you could probably go to a garage sale and find most of them to own permanently for the same price as the subscription service. Looking past that, some of these games are kind of just padding the number here. Like, is there anyone truly out there in the world purchasing Ubisoft Plus to play Pets, Horses 2 or Might and Magic Chess Royale, which by the way is literally free to play, you don't even need to purchase it. Like, overall, Ubisoft, I appreciate that this is an option for some people, and I'm sure there's tens of people in the world that enjoy paying for Ubisoft Plus so they can play literal board games, but with your lack of extra features, $15 a month is an insane price compared to what Game Pass also offers. Nintendo Switch Online is the first subscription service in this list that isn't as focused on giving you games, and is instead just focused on allowing you to play Nintendo games online. At just $20 a year compared to Game Pass's, Ubisoft Plus's, and EA Play Pro's $15 a month, this seems like a steal. And I'd be absolutely certain it was a steal if Nintendo Switch Online wasn't awful to actually use. I have never seen an online service that I'm forced to pay for be so absolutely, unequivocally awful to use and still have tons of people online be like, yeah, it's just a little Nintendo quirk. Like, playing Smash or Super Mario Maker 2 with Nintendo Switch Online can more times than not just make the game absolutely unplayable. And that's just if you can actually get into a game. I cannot count how many times I've just tried to raid with a friend in Pokemon Sword and being forced to sit and wait upwards of 10 to 20 minutes to connect to each other and experience a single raid. What qualifies this for being discussed in this video though, is that you do actually get access to games when you pay for this. The games in question being upwards of 30 to 40 years old. Now listen, what I'm about to say is in no way endorsement. Nintendo Ninjas, I'm begging you, please. But there are certain areas online where payment to play these games is not required, so having these games as a selling point is a bit pointless. Also, voice chat, like, cool, thanks for having the option, but I doubt anyone is actually using this consistently over something like Discord. Talking about PlayStation Now is where I also start to include some cloud gaming services into the discussion. While it is fundamentally different from Game Pass and EA Play in a lot of ways, I have to give PlayStation Now credit where it's due. This was kind of the pioneer for a lot of the other subscription services that currently exist now, and was also one of the first video game subscription services to offer cloud gaming. Sadly though, PlayStation Now gets no credit for cloud gaming, because to this day, cloud gaming sucks. Cloud gaming as an idea will probably be really popular 10 to 20 years from now, but right now we're just not ready for gaming that requires a consistent strong internet connection when the average internet speed in America is 42 megabytes per second. Input lag is usually the killer here, but bad quality and stuttery gameplay are also things that made PlayStation Now something that just isn't talked about anymore. Speaking of cloud gaming though, Google Stadia came out and died within a month. Once again, it was an idea that had a solid base, but the world just wasn't ready for it. $10 a month, which is the same price as base Game Pass, gets you access to games you can play somewhat inconsistently, with input lag and random quality dips that you don't experience if you just purchase Xbox Game Pass and actually download the game. That's excusing the horrendous ideas thought up by the creative director, who thinks streamers should be paying a license to stream games online, or the 2 Stadia users on the official Stadia Reddit who will still defend a service that Google is probably going to abandon in a year or two. So in conclusion, video game subscription services aren't all bad. And by not all bad, I mean that Xbox Game Pass specifically is the only one I recommend. For the rest of them, buy it at your own risk.